All right.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody.
Hello, hello, all you couch potatoes.
And
And then speaking of potatoes, there's going to be a lot of potatoes at the at your Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, so
exactly.
or this week or whenever you have your Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, welcome to Mary Elizabeth's Variety Hour.
And I am her special guest turkey. My name is Kaye Lazar. It's good to be here. We are in
Forest Hill Park.
Forest Hill Memorial Park. This is not the same park that all the presidents are buried in. Monroe and Madison and that's Hollywood Cemetery. The Hollywood Cemetery is kind of wild because
Right.
when I was Jefferson Davis is buried there, and it's kind of neat about those things is that when I was a kid and I'd go to Hollywood Cemetery, I thought I was in like Hollywood, California.
Oh yeah, it does kind of sound like
and
it
then,
though.
and then I'd leave, and then I'd be in Richmond again. As soon as I walked out the gate, oh, back in Richmond. Had no concept of geography.
Right, right. Yeah.
So how are you preparing for Thanksgiving? Is it going to be turkey or ham for you?
Turkey.
Turkey. Yeah, I like turkey better. I can
Yeah.
have ham anytime.
Right. I get ham on Christmas.
Yeah.
So we wait till Christmas to get ham. So.
You should get what was that they had in the Grinch's Stole Christmas, the the Who Beast or something.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Who Hash.
Yeah.
So they ate. Oh, by the way, I never really liked. There was something that unnerved me about the Grinch that Stole Christmas when I was a kid, and that was I didn't like the idea of someone coming into your house and stealing all your stuff, especially on Christmas Eve, because that's
Yeah.
the day Santa should come.
Right. Exactly.
Now, if you remember the Grinch that Stole Christmas, no Santa. It was you've heard of people refer to sometimes a godless world. That was a Santa-less world, which
Yeah.
was when you were a kid is just as bad. Well, no, there's no hope for us. There's not even a Santa Claus in this town. So, and the idea, and then and you remember his heart got big at the end, and he
Yes.
gave all the stuff back, and
Yes.
he's a hero. He
Right.
stole the stuff in the first place. He should have gotten to jail.
I know. Exactly.
And if he didn't like it so much up there on his mountaintop,
Right.
then he should have moved to somewhere that he would like Las Vegas or New
Right.
York or somewhere,
Right. Exactly.
or Paris or
Yeah.
somewhere fun.
Yeah.
Now, this is a little bittersweet time because sadly with the pandemic and everything, we were supposed to go to New York this week and
Exactly.
see the Macy's parade,
Yeah.
and we're not going to see the Macy's parade.
Well.
But it's on television. But it's not. It's weird. They're still having it, but it's only for television, and it's gonna be like a block long.
Right.
It's not gonna be like 3 miles long where you
Oh
could just
yeah.
stand and see. And you
Right.
saw. I when I was a kid, I loved parades.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I didn't. I remember wanting to go to a parade in the worst way because all my friends were going to be there, a Christmas parade. And my dad refused to go. He couldn't be bothered taking a bunch of brats to a parade. He says, I don't want to have to see the horses pooping on the right in front of me while they walk by the marching. He didn't want to hear all that loud marching band music. How many times can you hear the Saints go marching in one day?
Yeah.
Then the other thing, this was the worst part. He told me, and he didn't want to see Mayor Bliley, Mayor Thomas Bliley. Um, he runs a he runs a funeral home.
Right.
I don't want
Right.
to see I don't want to see Mayor Bliley on a float for his Undertaker parlor. Who is he? The Grim Reaper? That's the last I think I want to see at the Christmas parade. The Grim Reaper.
Oh Lord Jesus.
So then I admit if it was raining or snowing, I didn't want to go. But if it
Right.
was, I don't mind it being cold. We used to sit on the top of the cars and watch. We'd have the car parked, and usually the parade would go by
Yeah.
us.
Right.
And there'd always be some brat
Uh,
that 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 was a little kid. It's
right.
always a little kid
Right.
that's on the shoulders of the father in front of you,
Oh yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can't see around him
I know.
at the
It's
parade. Yeah,
terrible. It's terrible.
I remember that. This kind of shows you something. The kid was on the top, and the father was moving around like this. And you don't realize this when you're a little kid and you're on someone's shoulders,
Yeah.
and the father is like twisting around, and with the diaper and the soda
Oh
pop and the
yeah.
popcorn and
Yeah.
everything. The
Yeah.
the kid, it's almost like being on a roller coaster, and the kid just barfed
Oh
on the
no.
father
Oh
and
my.
on the
Are you
the brother and
serious?
sister that were that
What?
and for some reason I had sort of a sense of accomplishment and pride. I
Wow.
said, "Good, good. I'm happy. That's what they deserved, staying in my way where I couldn't even see the parade." I went to the Christmas parade once, and in the Richmond one,
Right.
and I tell the story all the time. The Kenny Rogers was in town doing a show,
Oh yeah.
and Kenny. This was back in I think in the early 2000s, and what
Oh.
happened was Kenny Rogers um, was in town doing the
Mm,
show. I think he was there. It was like a Saturday
right.
night he was doing, or Friday night he did the show.
Right.
And then they said, "Listen, there's a parade in Richmond. Do you want to be in the parade? You could be the grand marshal, or we could put you on a sports car and you could wave to the fans."
Yeah.
He said, "Sure." So I had never seen Kenny Rogers before in
Mm,
person. So I always like seeing celebrities in person. So I
right.
went. I woke up early, ran, parked the car, ran to Broad Street,
Oh
got a
wow.
good place, and I said, I was a little late. It was already going on. I said,
Wow.
"Did Kenny Rogers go by yet?" He goes, "No, no, Kenny Rogers hasn't come by yet."
Oh
Because a lot of
wow.
people, and then of course half the people said, "Kenny
Right.
Rogers in this parade?" I said, "Yeah,
What?
Kenny Rogers in this parade." So then Kenny Rogers came in his
Yeah.
car and he's waving at
Oh
everybody. And
wow.
you only have like a maybe, believe it or not, parades are very slow moving. But
Yeah.
for some reason, when Kenny Rogers there, it started to move a little faster. So I had to take as many pictures as I could,
Oh yeah.
almost
Yeah.
like the paparazzi.
Right.
So I took all these pictures of Kenny Rogers. Never met him, but I got to take these pictures of him.
Yeah.
And then the parade was over, Christmas was over, New Year's was over, and
Right.
then a few months later, I'm watching a talk show. This probably is in March or April, and I see Kenny Rogers, and he had had the worst plastic surgery you've ever
Oh,
seen.
I heard about that
Yeah, he didn't
years
look at he
ago.
didn't even look like himself.
Wow. He looked kind of like a skinny, like kind of
Yeah, he had
skinny.
yeah, and it didn't for some reason
Oh.
on his he had a skull face and a beard. It was weird because they
Oh.
tightened everything.
Oh wow. Yeah.
He didn't even look like his eyes were bugging out, or
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know what was going on. But Kenny Rogers. So then at that point, my photographs started to get very popular,
Yeah.
and then I put them on the internet, and you can find them on the internet. Maybe I'll put some
Yeah.
on in the comment section of this
Yeah.
video. And somebody told me, like years later, said, because he never really got looking back good again. He says
Right.
you probably took the last pictures of the good Kenny Rogers, which
Oh
Kenny
my God.
Rogers is
Oh, have
a is
mercy.
a textbook example why you should well not maybe never get
Right.
plastic surgery, but think long and hard before you
Right.
get it. Because you may have to get a facelift to fix the
Yeah.
last facelift.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I think they have now with computers they could actually say, well, we'll tuck this in and then we'll go like this and then we'll go like this,
Okay.
and then you could probably see, well, this is what I'm going to look like, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And all I ask like to do with haircuts and
Yeah.
dresses and stuff,
Yeah.
bridesmaids dresses and stuff. They could do that with plastic surgery now, or better yet, just keep your old face
Right.
and then just Photoshop Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie as you. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the parade.
Mhm.
I'd rather be in the parade than just sit and watch the parade.
Yes, yes. I would.
It's just me. I mean,
Well, I know
it's,
what you're saying because the parade is not really much. It's just walking. Everyone takes a walk together. So yeah, in fact, yeah.
I
Instead of
just
sitting and watching the parade go by, you might as well
I,
be in it.
I just like to entertain people anyway. So
Yeah.
that's why I'd rather be in the parade than just sit and watch the parade.
Now, have you been in any parades?
I've been in the Richmond one once back in 2007.
Yeah, what were you doing then?
I was with my dance troupe at the old church at the Rock
Yeah.
years ago in
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
And then I've been in other parades before that.
We
Like
had the Saint Vitus dance in the religious
I
parade.
was I was I was dancing in the float, just clapping my
You
hands.
glad?
I had the most
I
fun
like your
time of my
rhythm.
life. Yeah.
How do you do this? Next time you see a group of people clapping in rhythm, to like a church or something, always look at the one usually an old guy. He's trying to keep up, or he's trying to figure it out. He can't just do it.
Oh Lord.
And if you don't see that guy might be you.
Lord have mercy.
My mother says everybody's out, everyone's out of step but my son. So you were clapping in the parade. You remember the song that was played?
It was a Christmas rap song that the
Christmas
rapper.
in Hollis by Run
It was
DMC.
kind of similar to that, I think, but I
Yeah,
think they made up the lyrics.
yeah. The only other rap song I know is the Waitresses, the Christmas Christmas rapping or something. It's a good song.
Yeah.
I tried singing it for it's very hard to sing a rap song in karaoke because you think you know it, but you don't really know it because this rapper usually sings it very fast, and
Right.
you're just seeing these words go by. Oh, that I didn't know those were the words. So I usually steer clear of rap.
Yeah.
I also steer clear in karaoke. I also steer clear of square dance
Yeah.
cadences and swing your partner and do si do. That's what white people did before rap was invented. Yeah. So, and what was the other parade you were
I was in the Petersburg parade once years ago.
in? Yeah.
My dad and I were in the
On-
car club, and then we
Oh,
brought our
you were on a
classic.
car?
Yeah, we have a few classic cars,
Okay.
and we
A
would take.
convertible?
No, it was just like a 1970s standard kind of car.
Oh, okay. 1970s. Well, yeah, that's really old.
Yeah, but we would take one of our cars and we joined the parade.
Yeah.
So and then we put decorated with Christmas lights and everything.
Yeah.
And we also been in the parade in Virginia Beach.
Oh, you went to
So
the Virginia Beach parade.
yes,
Wow.
yes. So we went
Next to
to
the Neptune statue.
yeah.
Wait, was it on
It was like downtown Virginia Beach.
oh, it was in downtown. Okay, it
So we
wasn't at the
paraded.
beach. It wasn't
Yeah,
at the beach.
it was at the beach, but it was like downtown.
Yeah.
I think.
I've seen a parade. They have a parade, Memorial Day parade, but they have it at the beach on
Oh,
the on Pacific Avenue.
oh,
Yeah, or Atlantic. I don't know. I always get those confused.
yeah.
The closest one to the water. Then let's see. Of course, you've been in the Chester parade, right?
Yeah, I was in Chess Parade
That's the
twice.
only one I've ever been in.
Yeah, I'll give you a list of parades I've been in.
Yeah,
I've been in Virginia Beach Parade,
yeah,
the Petersburg Parade,
yeah,
the Richmond Parade,
yeah,
and the Chester Parade twice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in the Chester parade, and the Chester parade, and it's the only one that'll invite me. And then the last few years I haven't been in it because of rain and snow and now a
Yeah,
pandemic.
yeah. I
So
was gonna be in that a couple years ago,
yeah,
but they canceled it because of the snow that day.
they always cancel it.
I
They don't.
know.
I
It
mean,
sucks.
they don't. They don't reschedule it. Why can't we do it on Tuesday,
Right.
like election day?
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Why do we vote on election day on
Yeah,
a Tuesday?
right.
What do you do on a Tuesday?"
Exactly. Last year I had to work, so I couldn't do it last year.
The
So,
parade?
yeah.
Yeah.
And because I didn't even know that they were doing it, until they said something about it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I had to work that day,
Yeah. They always give me the same. We're in the children's theater, and
Yes.
they always give me I'm either the ringmaster
Yeah.
or the king.
Yeah.
I always get the white collar fantasy characters.
Yeah. I was Eeyore that year when
Eeyore.
I was in it about 4 years ago. So,
Eeyore.
yeah.
You seem like a very cheerful person to be
Yeah.
playing Eeyore.
Yeah. It was
Eeyores look like he should be taking like Klonopin or something.
I was sitting in the back truck. I was sitting in the back of the truck
Yeah,
and waving. It was
or
pretty
halcyon.
fun. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really fun. And yeah.
Yeah, you have to learn how to wave when you're in a parade.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love waving when I'm
Oh,
in the
wait a minute. I
parade.
tell you another parade I was in. I was in the same group of people, the Chesterfield uh, uh, Fair Parade.
Oh, I was in that
Yeah,
too.
I
I
forgot all
forgot.
about
I
that.
forgot to put that on my list.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
your resume,
I was in that one twice too. The
on our
Chesterfield
parade resume.
Chesterfield Fair Parade and the Chester Parade. I was in those twice.
Yes.
So.
You want to hear a wild story about parades? I have a niece, not a niece, a cousin,
Oh.
and well, actually, she's the daughter of a cousin, my cousin Ina. Her name is
Oh. Okay.
Stacy,
Okay.
and she won a nationwide contest for Carvel ice cream. You remember
Oh.
the Carvel ice cream
Yeah.
ads?
Yeah.
And she was on the ads for a while, and she was Little Miss Half Pint. She must have been like 4 or 5 years
Oh
old,
wow.
and it was a big deal named Stacy. Now, what happened was, Stacy was going to be in the Macy's parade, and she was
Oh.
in the Macy's parade.
Oh wow.
Okay, which is great. She's the only person I know personally that was in the Macy's parade.
Yeah.
I've heard of like local high school marching bands being in parades, but
Right.
I none that I knew.
Right.
But
Right.
this girl, a cousin of mine, was in the Macy's parade. Okay, so there's actually a schedule for a parade, and versus the underdog balloon, and then there's the float for the United Way, and then there's the float,
Right.
and it
Right.
goes on like that. And we knew where she was going to be, and we saw the previous uh, float. All right, and then in the background we see her in real small waving. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and then a commercial came on.
Uh-huh.
And then when the commercial came back, it was, oh, I guess they picked it up where it left. No, she had already gone. She had
Oh
already passed.
what?
So we never got to see her in the parade. Now, in those days, I think the Macy's parade was on two channels, on NBC and CBS. So we turned to
Right.
CBS,
Right.
and I think it was live. Both of them were kind of live, so we didn't see
Yeah.
them on either one.
Right.
So what happened was everyone was outraged. Everyone, all
Mm.
of her relatives were outraged. Certainly, her relatives in New York were outraged because
Wow.
that's her immediate family.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So it turned out that the reason why you didn't see her on the parade was that to put the Carvel ice cream float on there would be a free advertisement. They probably
Oh,
paid the
okay.
parade, they paid the parade to be in it, but they didn't pay NBC and CBS to be on it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a free advertisement, and let me tell you about the TV networks. They don't they don't let money slip through their fingers.
Right.
So so we were outraged. And now whenever I go see a parade on television,
Right.
I'm under the impression that you're only seeing half of the parade because half the sponsors didn't pay for it. And if you
Right.
see, like a mermaid from the Chicken in the Sea
Yeah. Right.
can, a floating can for the parade,
Right.
then you
Right.
know that Chicken of the Sea paid for that.
Right.
Or the bears from the toilet paper commercials.
Right. Yeah.
The toilet paper company.
Yeah.
Very
Right.
charming, that
Yeah.
that that float.
Right. Right.
So, but then the only saving grace we had, this was before video. No one had video. We might have had Super 8 cameras or something. We're talking a long time ago. We're talking about the 70s or the 1960s or something.
Wow.
And the only saving grace was the local ads for Carvel had my cousin in them. So she's now grown up with kids of her own, but it was wild. So we were outraged about
So
that we didn't get to see our
Oh,
cousin in
I
the
know.
parade,
Oh.
nationwide,
So what year was this? In the 60s, 70s?
probably 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old she is. I don't want to give out her age. I don't want to give out my age either. It gives you some idea.
Yeah.
The only concession I make the old age is I was born in the last century.
Right.
And yeah, oh, I actually had a little trouble with parades when I was growing up because par- I never okay, I'm gonna make it very clear to you. We had was a black and white set, and to see a parade, all the costumes and all the balloons and everything and the floats,
Right.
the Rose Bowl parade with all the
Right.
flowers in it,
Right. Right.
you have to see it in color, and you have to see it probably live. It's like, trying to watch fireworks on television. It's not the
Right.
same as being there. And a parade, I
Exactly.
think, is the same way.
Right.
So, so my dad used to say, "Why aren't you watching the parade? You don't really seem to like parades. You always want to go to the parades." I said, "Yes, I
Right.
always want to go to the parade. I don't want to watch it on television. I don't need it.
Exactly. Right.
I'm not even crazy about taking pictures
Just
of
like me,
parade.
I want to be in the
You
parade,
want to be in
not
the
sit
parade?
and watch the parade.
Okay, the be in the parade is the best. Sit and watch it live there is the best, and then way down on the list is watching it on a black and white set on television. Now,
So,
I went. They used to have a St. Patrick's Day parade, and the first year I went to it, the Grand Marshal was Jimmy Dean.
oh,
Jimmy Dean and his wife
ah,
Donna Mead,
wow.
and they were on a giant. They were on top of a giant. It's the only time I've seen Jimmy Dean.
Right.
It was on the top of a giant truck, like a lorry, a truck tractor trailer. And he
Yeah.
was at the top of it with his wife waving, and he was having a loudspeaker. Hello, everybody! Hello, everybody! And it says, and I think he asked for questions from the crowd. When he went by, and one kid yelled out, "Give me some sausages!" He said, "Give me some sausages. I don't have any sausages because they're in your truck. Give me some sausages."
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, we had a celebrity living. I saw him one other time, but I never got to meet him. The closest was at the parade. I was also on the Annabelle Lee, and Annabelle Lee stopped at his estate on the James River.
Right.
And the day we came, he stepped outside and just waved at everybody. He said, "Oh, there's Jimmy D."
Yeah, I used to ride the Annabelle Lee when I was in high school
Yeah,
because we had the senior graduation party
yeah,
and we all, got together and partied,
yeah.
at the Annabelle Lee. It was pretty fun.
Oh, it was
So
fun on a
yeah,
showboat,
yeah,
like that song "Old Man River," the
yeah.
showboat.
Old Man River, Old Man River.
Yes,
Mhm.
all those shows. That's my dad's favorite musical, Showboat.
Yeah, my grandfather loved that show too.
It is
So
good. It is a good show.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
every few years they bring it on Broadway, and it always has a lot of controversy about it because of
yeah.
the depiction of African American
Right.
people in it. But it's a fine show.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's like To Kill a Mockingbird or Huckleberry Finn. I don't the African American characters are not villainous, but just by virtue of the fact that it shows them back, 150 years ago, that
Yeah.
the people are going to be up in arms about it. But
Right.
but I mean, all those great songs, and the greatest black entertainer of all time, Paul
Right.
Robeson, was in it, and he was
Right.
he was
Yeah.
a civil rights leader.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
in fact, the last time it was at in on Broadway. There was it has to do with a misgeneration and
Mhm.
a half black or a woman passing for white who's black marries a white guy and they want to stay together and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of good singing and dancing in the movie and the show. But uh, when Ava Gardner was in it, they kind of gave her a dark tan, but then on Broadway, I think it had the original had Lena Horne, which was a
Yeah.
very light
Till
skinned
the clouds
black
roll
woman.
by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's in the
It's
telecast.
based on
It's right,
Showboat, I
and
think.
then and
Yeah.
then uh, and then in the Broadway show, that was only a few years ago, Lynetta McGee,
Right.
who played I think Malcolm X's mother in Malcolm X and a lot of Spike Lee movies.
Oh,
So if a
okay.
woman in Spike Lee movies could be in
Yeah.
Showboat,
Right.
then there's nothing wrong with the show. The show is
Right.
very good. The one I like the best is the James Whale version
Right.
with Paul Robeson.
Right.
James Whale, of course, they made a directed Frankenstein
Right.
and an Old Dark House, and they made a movie about his life with Ian McKellen called
Right.
Of Gods and Monsters,
Right. Yeah.
and he mentions the Ian McKellen character. James Whale says, "Showboat was my greatest film. Frankenstein and the sequel were great. The others were made by hacks." He's a real elegant, flourished director, James Whale. Oh, and Alan Jones was in the Irene Dunn, I think. But
Oh.
James Alan Jones, who is we talked about him last time,
Yeah.
Jack Jones's father. He's
Yeah.
also in the Night at the Opera too.
Right. Yeah.
And so yeah, so Showboat, Old Man River, all those songs, and you know that and Porgy and Bess to me are like the great
Oh, I have a Porgy
African
and Bess
American
soundtrack too.
shows
Yeah.
from that time, the
Oh yeah.
20s and the 30s. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean they're still considered, and the depictions in there, may make you cringe a little, but they're still, I think, sincere performances and sincere characterizations.
Right.
They're not it's not ridiculing the
Right.
people.
Right.
But I mean that's what I think. That other people may have more stronger and maybe better reviews
Right.
and insights into that.
Right.
That's speaking of musicals. I'm getting all my musicals on television, on
Oh
TCM
wow.
musicals
Yeah.
and DVDs. I can't go to any musicals. I can't see my friends in any musicals. Because I
Yeah.
used to love going to see you in musicals. I
Yeah.
love to sing and dance myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully, I think they're planning shows in 2021, which
Yeah. I hope to
looking
do
for.
that
That's why
too.
we're doing these shows. We're trying to entertain people
Right.
in the meantime.
Exactly. And we
Know
could
that you're still around, knowing that we're still around and still funny.
and we could still even do them. So
Yeah, we could.
yeah.
I know that there have been concerts in drive-ins now.
Oh wow.
In fact, Biden, when he was running for president, was having his rallies, if you call them rallies, at drive-ins and in parking lots, and he
Oh.
would stand on a stage, and whenever he made a point, people they would beep their horns. So it sounded like they were in a traffic jam. Usually, when you beep your horn, that means you're mad. Now, on the other hand, Trump's rallies, they didn't, they didn't care. They just went into the
Right.
stadium or the arena
Right.
and didn't wear masks and just infected each other.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm starting to think that if it weren't for the pandemic, I think Trump probably would have gotten a second term. But we're going to see how Biden handles this.
Yes.
They're very high on the vaccines, which I'm hoping that works
Yeah.
out. Yeah, the vaccines.
Yes.
Now, so what we were talking. We were on the way over here. We're listening to Billy Joel,
Yes. Billy Joel. He is awesome. And
and
and we're listening to the song called Captain Jack.
just like the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, yeah, I have the album of that Piano Man.
Yeah.
It's a good album too. I got that song is on there. So.
That the first song I ever heard by Billy Joel was Piano Man.
Yeah.
And it was a very good song, and it's still a good song.
Right.
But I said, this is a great. He'll be a great one-hit wonder with this song.
Well,
Oh, was I wrong? He had hit after hit. In fact, when he had songs that didn't sound a whole lot like, at least to my ears, didn't sound a lot like Piano Man. I said, oh
yeah.
man, this man is truly talented.
Oh yeah.
And he
Sing us
had
a song, the Piano Man. Sing us a song tonight.
he was he I think it was called The Stranger.
Oh
And then he
yeah.
had
I have
another
that one too.
album called 57th Street or
I
something.
have that one I think too.
And they were both back and forth. They both came right after each other. In those days, albums came like in like 2 years. He had these two albums,
Yeah.
and they had so many good. In fact, they're probably the best songs he did write.
Right.
And this was after the Piano Man album, and he was just everywhere.
Mm.
And when I was in high school, that's all we wanted to listen to was Billy Joel, those albums, and everyone owned them. And I didn't really. I think someone in my family bought them, and because your family, you should never. If you have brothers and sisters and you're growing up like I was, if one member of your family bought an album, that was one album you did not buy because you wanted to tape it. You wanted to tape that album because having two albums, two Thriller albums or two
Yeah.
Billy Joel albums or
Right.
50 Cent, it's strange.
Right.
But so I was just playing that record all the time, hearing all those songs on there. He came to Richmond when I was in high school, and I went to see him, and we were all my friends were there. It was wild, and I took film of him, actually Super 8 film. This is before video, and then I had my camera taken away from me, and I had to watch the rest of the show with it sitting on
Right.
my hands. I'm
Right.
really mad. He doesn't do albums anymore. He still
Mm.
performs. He has the record for most performances at Madison Square Garden, and he
Mm.
performs there like once a week.
Oh wow.
Up till this year,
Right.
early this year, he was performing like maybe not once a week, maybe once a month. So if you had any, and he said, all I want to do is sing my popular songs. I don't want to write any more songs. I've written all the songs I want.
Yeah.
And a lot of the songs I don't understand what I don't understand them. Good Night Saigon and
uh,
Allentown. I
mm.
mean, they have a story behind each one
I
of
do
them.
like Allentown. So.
Yeah, but I once, and I'll tell you something weird about Billy Joel. You never hear other people sing his songs. He basically
Mm.
the only one who sings at least his popular songs.
Yeah.
There's a song he wrote called early in his career called "New York State of Mind,"
Oh
and a
yeah.
few people have recorded that. And you might hear like someone like Ray Charles or Tony Bennett. I think Barbara Streisand even
Oh yeah. I
recorded it.
remember Barbara
But
Streisand
that's
doing
about the
that.
only one. You don't hear people singing "My Life" or
Yeah.
"You May Be Right." You
Yeah.
might hear it like in a karaoke.
Right. Right.
It's on video. Maybe I sing I sing one of the few things that were
We didn't
videotaped.
start the
We
fire.
didn't start the fire.
Yeah, I remember you singing that. Yeah.
And you were there, and
I
I was
wasn't
just
there, but I saw the
you saw the
video.
video, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I was just jumping up and down and screaming the song because you don't. After a while, when you do a song like that, when there's a lot of lyrics, you're not you actually stop singing it after a while. You don't
Mm.
really you just shout it out.
Yeah.
That's why rap is so popular. You don't because it's
Right.
all just
Right.
shouting the music
Exactly. Yeah.
out.
Might be.
And
Yeah.
so I saw him at the Coliseum, the Billy Joel, and he usually performers. It was still kind of early in his career. I think he only had 3 albums at that point, and he sang he sang a few covers, which I think made their way to like a few live albums that he did or
Mm.
TV performances he did. He sang "Live and Let Die."
Oh yeah, that
He's
Paul McCartney sung that as well.
well, no, well it's a Paul McCartney song,
Yeah.
yeah, from
Oh.
the James Bond, and then he sang "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road," and I
Oh.
think he sang uh, I think he sang a Beatles song. I think he sang "Back in the USSR,"
Oh yeah.
which I think was the title of his album in Russia
Oh
when he
wow.
went to perform in Russia. He did a tour with Elton John for a few years.
Oh, I did
That
not know that.
where one would start, the other one would finish the show,
Oh.
and then at the end they both came for the encore and played duets. Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, tell me what you know about Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. He was really popular back in the 80s, like
Yes.
back when I was a kid. And my grandfather, I think, used to have the Greatest Hits album,
Yeah.
Greatest Hits 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And there's this one song a couple songs I liked on there, called "You Only Human."
Yes.
I like that one, and I like "For the Longest Time."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
really liked The Longest Time
yeah,
because it took me a while to figure out that it was a acapella.
Yeah.
like a doo-wop, or
Except snapping fingers.
it was like a barbershop quartet type
Right. I like that
harmonies,
one.
which is
Yeah.
very hard to pull off in a pop
Right.
song.
Yeah. Also, Allentown was good.
You
My uncle played the album one time,
Mhm.
and I didn't know my uncle liked Billy Joel. One of my uncles.
Yeah.
He was playing that one song Allentown,
Mhm.
and he kept playing it over and over and over.
Yeah,
And
there are
I'm
other
like,
songs in this album, Uncle.
maybe maybe he got distracted by my cousins for talking, so he had to play the beginning over again just to hear it again. So,
I have that problem. I have
which
that
is hilarious.
doesn't have
So,
that problem with little kids in my family, or with even adults that are
yeah.
out of line. And I'll be watching TV, and I'm very good at watching TV and focusing on stuff. And I could actually, people could ask me questions, and I'm just focusing on the TV, and I'm trying to listen and everything. And then I get yelled at for ignoring them. And I said, no, I'm watching TV here. Now, if it's a tape, or it's a recording, I could stop it and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but many times it's live, so I'm like
Right.
paying like Jeopardy. I
Yeah,
hate it when
yeah.
people said, "What was explain to me the last question?" No, there's about 20 questions that I'm trying to keep up with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm very good at focusing and I have a
Yeah.
laser focus, like what I a lot of people are ADHD or something, or
Yeah.
they're easily distracted. I'm not that way, at least when I'm watching television.
Right. Right. Right.
Why? Because something interests me, and I
Yeah.
do that. So anyway, uh, every once in a while, somebody will start screaming when I'm trying to watch a TV show, and I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on. So I finally have to turn to them and say, "If you don't shut up, I'm going to turn this louder and louder and louder until I cannot hear you
Oh,
over the
Lord have
din of the
mercy.
TV."
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Yes.
Believe it or not, usually the louder you turn something, the quieter they get.
Right.
Also, or it sounds like they're quiet. The other thing is, somebody actually told me something. See, I have a loud voice and everything. But somebody told me, he said, you'd get more people to listen to you if you didn't talk so loud. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? And he said, and he made a good point. He said that if you're in a crowd of people and you want to make a point, sometimes you have to talk very low, and then everybody, gradually gets quiet so they could hear you. They could strain to hear you say
Right.
something important. While if you're just and you're just adding to just the noise, and nobody notices anything. Now I have to admit, I have that problem. I never. This
Yeah.
is my normal tone of voice.
Right. Right.
It's usually how every one of my arguments ends. But 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 yeah. So people will tell me that I better that if I talk lower, people would actually listen to what I have to say. Now, and they may have a point, because many times I'll be talking, and I'll repeat things, and then like the next day someone says, "Oh, I didn't know you said that." And I said it twice, and they said, "Oh, we just ignore everything you say because you talk too loud." I said,
Yeah.
"Well, thank you very much."
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
There. Yeah. Have you heard of the show called Hee Haw?
Hee Haw,
Yeah.
it was the Hee Haw. I know something about Hee Haw. Hee Haw was like a hillbilly version of laughing.
Yes. It's pretty funny. It's pretty fun to watch.
You know, people who watch Hee Haw were of two minds, really small pea brain. But no, no, the people who watch Hee Haw were of two minds. There were the people who watch it for the really good music on it.
Yeah, I like the music.
The jokes weren't so hot. Now, then there were people that I don't like country music, but those jokes are hilarious. All those pretty girls and the ugly men lusting after them. What is this, Fox News? All those pretty. There was Ganilla Hutton and oh, Barbie Benton and Misty Rowe, and
Yes.
they're all gorgeous. And then you had funny looking men.
Yeah. Roy
Junior,
Roy Clark,
Roy
and
Clark.
he was
Well,
like
he was very
the
talented.
MC of the show.
It was Roy and Buck Owens.
Yeah,
The comedians on that show, I never, most of them I never seen on any other shows
yeah,
before,
right,
but they were very popular. And Archie Campbell and a lot of those guys I think were writers for the show.
right.
And what else? There was he was very Grandpa Jones
Oh
and
yeah, he was funny.
yeah, and they were that was some show. And I heard that there was no audience on that show. There's no audience for laughing either. They would they would actually like record it over
Like
like
a
a month.
pre-recorded,
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, they did like a month, and then they would basically, I don't know if the computer did it, but
Yeah,
they basically just funneled it into, in this,
yeah,
and then made a whole like season's worth of shows in
right,
a month. Just cranked it all out, used the same sets over and over again,
right,
and
right.
and those I used to love the jokes. The songs I wasn't a big country music fan, but now
Mm.
when I watch it, because now I'm a big country music fan,
Yeah, me
I
too.
see I see people like Marty Robbins, I see
Oh yeah.
the young Dolly Parton,
Uh-huh.
Porter Wagner,
Right.
I see all these Waylon is on there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see like guys you think like Waylon or Willie Nelson
Right.
or Hank Williams, and then you see them what they look like when they were young with the
Uh.
brill cream and
Oh yeah.
the sparkly suits and
Yeah.
everything. I
Yeah.
said, no, that's not the Willie I know. That's not the Hank Williams Jr. I know. But they're still good,
Yeah.
because
Right.
usually country music fans never they keep their fans forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, it's kind of fun seeing these shows. And then you would see even people that were popular not in America but in England. You saw like Slim Whitman would appear on Hee Haw. See
Yeah.
Boxcar Willie.
Yeah.
You'd see Sleepy LaBeef. I mean,
Yeah.
these were I used to live in Europe, so I used to see these guys
Yeah.
perform
Right.
from America. But then
Right.
they just didn't make it in America. But then they eventually did make it in America through the late night records
Right.
record sales.
Right.
And then they appeared, and then when that happened, they appeared on like Merv Griffin and Hee Haw,
Right.
shows like that.
Right.
What else? Minnie Pearl.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I was going to say that. Referral.
Minnie Pearl. Let me tell you, Minnie Pearl was. I really liked Minnie Pearl because
I like
usually
Minnie Pearl
when there was
too.
a country music show, I was get kind of bored with it. I wasn't really a music lover growing up, but when Minnie Pearl came on, she would interrupt the music and then be funny, and
Yeah.
I always like comedy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Minnie Pearl was something else. Minnie Pearl, they had a little bit of her on that country music documentary by Ken Burns, and they said that Minnie Pearl was like college educated, and
Oh.
she tried a few personas, and then when she picked the one with the big hat and everything, I mean that wasn't her real name.
Yeah.
That was, and once that worked, she went with it, and she never got old looking.
Right.
She looked like an old lady when she was probably in her late 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, in that outfit and everything. So
Yeah.
it just went with her
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Hee Haw, yeah, and Hee Haw was on CBS in the late '60s, and it was a big hit show. And then CBS canceled all these country shows, the Rural Purge, and these
Mm.
were all big hit shows. The Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres, Petticoat Junction, and a few others, and Hee Haw. They also canceled all these kids shows like Gilligan's Island, we always talk about, and Family Affair and stuff. And because they said that we can't sell cars to country people and we can't sell cars to kids. All they cared about, and it was weird. It was the first time they ever like marketed shows after that
Right.
to richer people with deep pockets who would buy the products.
Right.
You had lobster and caviar ads then after that.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
And then but that wasn't the end of Hee Haw. Hee Haw, I think ABC did the same thing with the Lawrence Welk show because they thought their audience was too old. And then for like the next 30 years, it was on syndication
Right.
on Saturday afternoons or
Yeah.
late night on Saturdays and
Right.
Sunday evenings. And then it continued being a big because they knew the audience was still there.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so yeah, Hee Haw. Yeah, it was great. Hee Haw.
Yeah.
Now you watch it, it's quite an entertaining show.
It comes on the Circle channel.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
these
have
are
to.
reruns from at least the 70s, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're like a mix between like probably around early 70s and 80s,
Mhm.
somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's one of those shows, Hee Haw, that if you start watching it, you kind of can't turn it off.
Right. Right.
A commercial comes on, then you change the channels. Oh, I can't watch any more Hee Haw.
Yeah.
Um, my mom, used to work on weekends at the hospital,
Mhm.
and she was a weekend. The rest of the week she was a mother to a bunch of brats,
Yeah.
but and I was the king of the brats.
Mm.
No, I was the clown prince of brats. But anyway, so she would, so I said, what type of, because you go to a hospital, everyone's watching television,
Yeah.
or the TV sets on. They may not
Yeah.
be watching it, but it's on.
Yeah.
For maybe the guests who get tired of, being with grandpa, or the
Yeah.
kid getting his tonsils out or something.
Yeah.
So, so, so I said to mom, what type of TV shows do they watch in the hospital? Do the patients watch? And she said, the worst crap. I said, there's no. I said, they never watch the news. They never watch 60 Minutes. They don't even watch, sports all that much. They usually watch reruns of Andy Griffith and reruns of the Brady Bunch and stuff like that. And my mom couldn't think of it. They always watch that Hicks show on Saturdays. Every TV set has that Hicks show on Saturday. I said, what's that Hicks show? The one with Roy Clark. I said, oh, Hee Haw? Yeah. So she said, yeah, they watch that show, which I would think I think if you're on your last days, the last thing you want to do is watch Hee Haw. I always found The Price is Right a stupid show to watch
Yeah.
when you're at home or in the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
I spoke about that before, but
Right.
but anyway, so my mom was telling me that they watch the worst crap in that Hicks
Hicks
show.
show.
So I said, I guess you won't be.
So she really did say Hicks show.
I know. I said to my mom, I guess you won't be getting too many $4 transcripts of the McNeil Lehrer report sent to the hospital to the patient's room. Sorry. I guess they just put their mind on autopilot. Oh, let's watch Hee Haw.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Hee Haw. I found a good show. Lawrence Welk. We used to watch when we were
Oh, I used
kids.
to watch that over at my grandmother's house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's grandmother had that on.
Yeah, I know.
There was my favorite on I actually mentioned this on the internet. I said when I'm typing on the internet, and I'm always like doing stuff. This is all I said. I'm typing as fast as Joanne Castle plays that player piano on television. She goes, and somebody says, "You watched the Lawrence Welk show too?" Because there was this woman with this big hair and just was banging on this piano like Jerry Lee Lewis. And I said, "That's how I type on the computer." So, what other shows did you used to like to watch?
Alice.
Alice,
Yes.
Alice,
Alice. It
Alice in
was
Wonderland.
no. It's a TV show that came out in the 70s, and it was about a single mother, who moves to Phoenix because her husband passed.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
she
I
has
know
a
that
little, and
show.
she has a young
Linda
son.
Lavin was on that
Yes.
show. Yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, it's a really good show.
Yes.
That's a really funny show.
Yeah, it is.
That's back on TV, on
It
local
still
TV.
it still comes on Antenna TV at 8
Yeah,
o'clock. So.
and 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 Linda Lavin is a woman from New York in real life. She's very good. She's a very talented
Yes. Yes.
Broadway actress,
Yeah.
and I think that's the first time anyone really heard of her was that show Alice,
Yeah.
and it was a movie called Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which
Yes.
won an Oscar for Ellen
Yes.
Burstyn,
Yes.
who's that. That's not her best performance. If you want to see Ellen Burstyn in two other great films, see The Exorcist, of course. You've probably seen
Right.
that already.
Right.
But there's a movie called Requiem for a Dream, where she plays a
Oh.
woman on drugs,
Mm.
and it is truly amazing. But Ellen Burstyn, for all her great work, is most won her Oscar for Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, an early film by Martin Scorsese. I remember
Oh.
Chris Christopherson's in the movie too.
Oh, okay.
He plays the
Yeah, I
boyfriend she
remember
gets.
that. I saw parts of the Alice Doesn't Live Here
Jodie
anymore.
Foster's in it too.
Yeah, that's when she was a little girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the actor who's the chef in the movie is also the chef on the TV show
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Vic Tayback.
Yes. Yes.
He's the only one from the movie that made it to the show, and then he became a big star because he was always in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think even in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, he just had the typical part. He usually plays a grunt,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
but then you only saw him for like 5 or 10 minutes in a movie, like in that movie, and
Yeah.
then they gave him a big part
Yeah.
on the Alice show,
Yeah.
and then he became a big star. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was
That's pretty hilarious.
yeah, and then the Flo, I remember.
Yeah, Flo was funny.
Yeah, yeah. She used to always say, what would she say?
Kiss my grits.
Kiss my grits.
Mm.
I remember there's a very funny episode where he sells the restaurant to Hans Conried, who you might remember from the
Oh,
Danny
yeah, I
Thomas
remember
show.
that one.
He is also in the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, the
Oh,
Dr. Seuss movie that was
oh,
made in the before Dr. Seuss became famous.
oh,
And he always plays mad scientist and everything. Well,
uh-huh.
he played this new chef of the restaurant. He was
Oh,
bossing Alice and Flo
oh, I
around,
remember that.
and
Yeah.
and then Flo said, "Kiss my grits," and he says, "I must." You must tell me about this certain peculiarity you have with grit kissing. I'd like to know more about it.
Oh, man.
Grit kissing.
I, if you want to watch Alice, it still comes on Antenna TV at 8 o'clock on weeknights.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I watch it every night, whenever I'm not busy, and it's hilarious.
I'm always busy. I have to tape everything, and then I still have a VCR, and I have to, and then I go right through all the commercials. But
Right.
a lot of people have like stuff on their TV, like in demand and stuff, and
Right.
but a lot of times you can't go through the commercial.
Yeah.
But I tape everything because I can't stand sitting through commercials. All those, I'm always afraid I got like mesothelioma
Yeah.
or I need a walker or something.
Right.
And so yeah, so I'm always worried. I just cannot watch commercials.
Yeah.
I haven't, and as a result, I don't really. I watch sports live, but that's about it. I haven't seen Saturday Night Live in years.
Oh yeah.
Why did he even do it live? I'm watching it on tape all the time. I tell me, you're wearing a nice sweater from King's Dominion.
Yes. Yes. When I worked at Kaye's Menu last summer,
Yeah, there you go.
they gave me this for like a gift.
There you go.
It's called Kaye's Menu Live Entertainment, which
Yeah,
the area that I was working at.
yeah.
So, because I was dressed up as a Peanuts character.
For the Peanuts, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Peanut or Mrs. Peanut.
It's like Charlie Brown and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I usually stay away from Peanuts characters because I don't want to have a peanut allergy. All the kids have that these days. They don't. We have an audience here.
Yeah.
And so what else? Oh, let me tell you about what I'm wearing. I always try to tell. I got this. This tie is actually. I try to be the human Bugs Bunny.
Mm.
So you won't believe where I got this tie. I got it in London at
Wow,
Marks and
really?
Spencers,
Ooh.
and they in the Cockney slang they call it Marks and Sparks.
Mox and Spock.
Marks and Sparks. And I usually when I go traveling, I'm always buying pins for my suits, and I'm buying ties because you could pile them into your luggage pretty easy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I used to buy a lot of I used to buy LPs a lot and try to shove them into my into my bags, and I couldn't do that without throwing stuff out. You know, oh, I don't need that toothpaste. I don't need that mouthwash. I don't need that sunblock. And then you need it, and then you have to buy it. But then I got this was on a trip to can't really see it very well, but this is it's the Casa Loma Hotel in Toronto. I was in Toronto, so the Casa Loma Orchestra. It's a big estate in Toronto, and I was there. Now, right here, this is the most interesting. This is, I don't know if you can see that, but Betty Boop working at Hooters. It is. I'm not kidding.
It's hilarious.
It's Betty Boop at Hooters. Now, what's kind of neat about Betty Boop at Hooters was maybe you see it better now. I don't know if you saw it, but anyway, uh, they never had a celebrity spokesperson at Hooters. I think nobody stepped forward to want to advertise for Hooters.
Yeah.
So they got Betty Boop. Well, who better than Betty Boop?
Yeah.
And they sell pins all the time. I don't have any pins from Hooters. I don't go to Hooters, but at the same time, I saw this and I said I gotta buy this, so I
Yeah.
bought this. And you can't. It's now like an heirloom. And people were complaining that people were complaining that I don't like the way Betty Boop sold out and started doing ads for Hooters. She never did ads before for anybody. I don't think Betty Boop had any say in the matter. The same thing was a lot of people lost a lot of people lost faith in um, the Jetsons when they were doing I think Radio Shack ads,
Oh,
and they said they didn't help Radio Shack because it went out of business, but the Jetsons, I used to like the Jetsons. Now they're doing ads for Radio Shack. I don't like them anymore. I don't like the way they sold out. So I don't think the Jetsons had any say in the matter.
right.
Maybe the guy who drew them. Maybe.
Oh,
I have three very controversial badges. This is one of them. The other two, let me tell you the other two. The other one is kind of weird. It's Superman and Wonder Woman in an embrace, hugging and kissing.
aw.
And but they both have their profile. Now Superman, you could recognize Superman. Wonder Woman, you have to almost look hard. Oh, that's her uniform. That's her costume she's wearing. You don't realize that Wonder Woman really doesn't wear a whole lot when she shows up. So when she's on the side with some man with arms around her, you don't know she almost looks naked. So I have that one, and I try not to wear that when I have to, be with kids because
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't know. Maybe when I was a kid, I would have loved it. So I should wear. The other one is a very controversial badge, and I didn't think it was that bad. Getting back to Showboat, I have this cartoon badge of Heckle and Jekyll, the
Yeah.
crows.
Oh yeah.
I wore it once. I still have it, and I actually rather loathe to wear it because an African American man said, "I don't like that badge you're wearing. Those crows, those and those minstrel show like crows,
Yeah.
Heckle and Jekyll." Now, if you know Heckle and Jekyll, everyone assumes that they have this dialect like Stephen Fetchit or somebody or like
Yeah.
Amos and Annie,
Yeah.
but they're actually one's has like a Brooklyn accent, the other one has a English accent.
Oh.
They don't, but I think people confuse in their head Heckle and Jekyll with the crows that are in Dumbo, which do have that. And the crows in Dumbo, I know when they made the remake of Dumbo,
Right.
they didn't include the crows. The one with Michael Keaton and Colin Firth and Danny
Yeah.
DeVito
Right.
and Dumbo,
Yeah.
Tim Burton version. I thought it was a good. I always liked the original Dumbo. I
Yeah.
thought the remake was very good.
Yeah.
I like these Disney remakes of live
Yeah.
action
Me
remakes.
too. Yeah.
They made a live action remake of the Lion King, and I said, why? It was already animated. There's no human characters in it.
Yeah.
The man just left it a cartoon. The Lion King.
Right.
Jungle Book is good.
Right.
I love, I kind of, that was the entertainment when we were kids. We went to
Yeah.
the theater to see those movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those Disney movies.
Right.
And
We saw Aladdin one time.
Aladdin with
That was the
Will
remake.
Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will Smith.
That was a good one.
The only one I missed was Cinderella.
Oh.
Because I never really cared for the Cinderella story. I didn't like the way they treated the step brother and the stepsisters and the stepmother. Because I think step parents have it rough already, and then having a story that just
Yeah.
just trashes them is kind of bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you would never. No wonder kids don't like their parents remarrying
Yeah.
after watching Cinderella. Is this
Yeah.
what's going to happen to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's they said that's what happened with Paul McCartney's kids when he remarried the woman, the second wife.
Yeah.
I think they're fine with his third wife, but she's just not the first wife.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I just love those Disney. Well, I mean, all we the cartoon versions of these films, the animated versions, they were really gold mines to Disney because every 5 or 6 years they re-released them.
Right.
Now they just put them on video
Right.
and they're DVD and you see them there, but
Right.
or
Right.
Disney
Right.
Plus, I think it's called now.
Right.
So, really like the Jungle Book though. That was good.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I thought it took place in Africa, but it takes place in India.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Rudyard Kipling, who wrote the original, was from India or
Yeah.
lived in India. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
and I think he lived in Charlottesville for a while, teaching at UVA.
Right.
Rudyard Kipling. Yeah.
Right.
So did Faulkner.
Right. Right.
So so uh, so um, so you're all set for the Christmas season. It's almost here.
Yay! I'm so excited. I love the holidays.
I got my special haircut for the.
I
No, I'm
love
not
it.
joining the Navy, as everyone thinks.
I love your haircut.
Thank you, thank you. It'll grow back. Hair today won't be gone tomorrow. It'll grow back.
Yeah.
And as you get older, your hair starts to thin.
Yeah.
But who wants fat hair?
Yeah. Exactly.
One thing I was surprised at when they cut my hair is all the gray that was in it. I didn't realize.
Right.
I mean, when I still have a lot of black in my hair, so when it was long, I could just swirl it around and you didn't really see the gray.
Right.
Had the Ronald Reagan look, just
Right.
all black.
Right.
And then of course you get it cut. Oh man, look at all the gray.
Yeah.
But that's better. It's, what are you gonna do? But it's nice. Thanks for inviting me here to this park.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah. We've been doing. We probably won't be doing too many shows here for a while because of the it'll get colder and we can't do it in the
Yes.
cold. But today was a nice day,
Yeah.
about
It was a
60
beautiful
degrees.
day. So.
Yeah. So thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.
And do you have any farewell addresses for
Yes.
for the Thanksgiving and the advent of the Christmas season?
Yes. I just hope you all have a happy and safe Thanksgiving and be good to your family. And even though, the pandemic is still here, but we're going to make the best of it, correct? So,
We are all in this together.
exactly. We're all in
So
this together, okay?
I notice at the end of all these shows on late night TV, they say, wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, and we'll all see 2021 again. So,
Yes.
Oh, by the
Yes.
way, I got to tell you something about this pandemic. This is very serious, and I'm always joking around, but I try to take all the precautions I can, and we take precautions too when we do these shows. And but I have to say that you don't want to slip too much. You might get away with it here and there, but you don't want to slip. You don't want to get infected with the COVID-19
Right.
because as the president caught it and he said, "I'm feeling better than
Right.
ever after he
Yeah.
got cured of it." Yeah, he had he had an army of doctors.
Yeah.
He had the
Yeah.
the Army Corps of Engineers bringing him
Right.
back from it, but
Right.
the rest of us don't have that.
Exactly.
And 250,000 people have died already, and it's going to get worse. Hopefully, the vaccine will do fine in the next few months. They're very high on it, which I'm very excited about. But all 250,000 people who were on their deathbed all probably said to themselves, "I wish I was a little bit more careful." They don't know how they got it, but they got it and
Amen.
they died.
Amen.
And there are people that are still sick with it, even though
Right.
they are somewhat asymptomatic
Amen.
now. So take all the precautions, be safe, and enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your 2021, because if we get through this 2020, we'll have a great 2021.
Yes. And God bless you all. Keep you all safe. Love you all.
This is the Mary Elizabeth Variety Hour, and it was great. Thank you for being here.